Hi, I am here at my mom and dad's house, and I'm so excited to be here with you for the Pause Challenge Day 2. And today we're talking about one of my favorite things to talk about, which is the Firebird story. Now, before I get into the Firebird story, I want to make sure you know what the Pause Challenge is. It is a challenge that I'm going to be offering for the next 8 days now, inviting you to take a moment to pause with me. Pausing is when you just take a few minutes to chill out, to let the brain slow down, and to answer a question or think about something that's important to your life or to your business. And I know as entrepreneurs, we don't pause enough. Now, I've written a whole book about pausing. I'm going to show it to you. I know that it's backwards, but it's called Pause, 52 Questions That Lead to More Time and Money. And the idea behind pause is that you read a little bit of a passage and then answer a question about it. And I'm going to be sharing with you 10 pause moments so that you can take a moment and pause with me for the next few days. We're going to be pausing together. So go ahead and take a deep breath with me. And take another deep breath. And just allow yourself to be with me for a few minutes. And we're going to move into the Firebird. Lacey was an ambitious young woman. She had her own business and a family that she adored. Her favorite hobby was bird watching. She had collected over 200 birds on her list and was constantly searching for more. I was a bird watcher when I was a kid too. I loved it. One day she heard about the elusive Firebird. The bird was rarely seen and was thought to be one of the most beautiful and exotic birds of all time. Lacey immediately declared to all of her friends, "I will find that Firebird, whatever it takes." And she began seeking. She went to the rainforests of South America over and over again. She traveled to India, to Africa, and countries on other continents. Soon she was traveling more than she was at home. She spent less time with her friends. They began to stop inviting her to their get-togethers. The closeness between Lacey and her husband began to disappear. He moved out one day, unannounced, while she was on one of her jungle trips. Little by little, she stopped calling clients back in her business. And before long, she was living off of the money in her savings account. Despite all of this, she knew that she was doing the right thing. She was committed. She was seeking the Firebird. This was all going to be worth it when she found it. It's just that all the people in her life didn't understand her. They just didn't get it. If they knew the glory of the Firebird, they would seek it too. She had a higher mission. She had a higher purpose. Then one day, Lacey was in a small, quiet space in the jungle. She was sitting and leaning back against a tree, taking a break from a long trek. She saw a flash of orange in the sky. She saw what looked like fire, and there it was, the Firebird. As the bird disappeared, Lacey began to think. Suddenly she was terribly lonely, and the space around her seemed impossibly dark and quiet. She thought of her friends and husband and how much she missed them. She looked down at her own body and saw that somehow she had gained weight, and noticed that she had lost energy and felt quite miserable. She thought of her business and had a wash of despair as she realized how she had let it all go. She had put everything in her life on hold. Her joy, her health, her love, her work, because she was seeking that one thing. And when she found it, there was only minutes of joy. As entrepreneurs, we do this all the time. We create our own Firebirds constantly. And I want you to think about, what are the Firebirds in your life? What are those things that you're seeking that you think, well, When I get to 3 clients, then I'll rest. When I make $100,000, then I'll spend more time with my family and friends. When I lose 15 pounds, then I'll go out and I'll have fun. What are your Firebirds? I mean, I know for me, I've had so many Firebirds in my business where I put my rest on hold, I put my joy on hold because I was waiting for something elusive to come. I know for many of you, there's Firebirds like, when I finish my book, then I'll rest. When I get 10 more clients, then I'll spend more time with my kids. When I make $100,000, I'll take better care of myself then. When I stop procrastinating, I'll actually feel good about my work. And I have to tell you guys, there's so much that happens. We think we need these big moments in our lives in order for us to feel good about ourselves or for us to finish something or feel accomplished. And I can tell you, as somebody that's made well over 7 figures in my business and hit a lot of these goals that I thought, oh, then I'll be happy, then I'll take better care of myself. I'll tell you that moment that you hit the goal, it comes and it goes like this. And then you're back to this other place and you realize that maybe you were going after a Firebird. Every day we create our own Firebirds. I can tell you from experience that this method of running a business has no joy in it. One of my first Firebirds was the year I crossed 7 figures. I had just finished my 3rd 3-day event. The thrill was very real and I was so excited, but the joy didn't last long. 7 days later, my mom passed away unexpectedly. She had been sick for a while, but no one expected her to leave so soon. I was in shock for the first few months. I wished I had been more involved in her life, especially during the 2 months before she had passed away. But I was busy chasing a Firebird. Yes, catching it was amazing, but I was starkly aware that I still would have caught it even if I had spent more time with my mom. Her death was a huge wake-up call that I could still chase Firebirds, that they were still meaningful, but that I also had to be deliberate about including my family and friends along my path. The real joy doesn't come from a number. It doesn't come from chasing the Firebird, or hitting a goal, or getting to a milestone. The true joy comes from who you have become along the way. The fact that you're literally a bigger human being. As entrepreneurs, we must learn to be aware of our growth, to appreciate it every step of the way. Yes, we love seeing our Firebirds, but we must learn to love every tree and every path and every person that supports us to get there. And most importantly, to love every version of ourselves. Now I want you to pause with me for a moment and ask yourself a question. What are you seeking right now? What are those things that are so important for you? What are your Firebirds along your path? If you've got pen and paper, write them down. If you're just with me and thinking about it, what are those things that you're so attached to wanting and seeking? And then I want you to answer another question. What are you putting on hold until you get those things? What are you not giving yourself or your friends or your family because you're waiting to get that Firebird, because you're waiting to seek, to get somewhere, to do something? And is it worth it? Is it possible for you to be able to do both? To be able to seek that Firebird and get that thing at the same time? To be able to create both in your life? I hope this gives you pause to think, to take the pause moment with me, maybe to realize something that maybe you've known already, or to just bring something to the surface that requires some thought. And just in case you joined me late, I was reading from my book. This is the Firebird passage, and my book is called Pause, 52 Questions That Lead to More Time and Money. And I'm going to be doing this every day for the next 10 days, challenging you and challenging me to stop, to pause, to think, and to reflect. And if this is something you love, check out the link. We have a pause program that goes with the book, 4 weeks of pausing together to do exercises like this so that we can truly get to know ourselves and get the answers from within ourselves instead of responding so much to our external environment. It's at revenuebreakthrough.com/pause program, and you'll see the link in the title, and I put it in the comments below as well. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing day, and don't forget to pause.